If she's losing respect for you, it's not because she's changed. It's because you've allowed certain habits to kill her attraction. These might seem like small things, little habits you picked up along the way, but they do great damage. And if left unchecked, they will turn her attraction into disrespect, even disgust, so I won't sugarcoat it. Today, I'll expose 5 behaviors that silently destroy respect, and how you can stop them before it's too late. You think all women are the same? There is no mystery. It's just biology. You don't need to be a player to understand what turns women on. And it all starts with respect. When you cross these 5 boundaries, you change everything. If you leave here without subscribing, you'll regret it. This knowledge has the power to change your life forever. Number 1, over-apologizing. Why do you apologize when you're not sorry? What does saying, "I'm sorry," actually mean? It means I submit. Think about it. Apologies have nothing to do with the truth. They're based on etiquette and optics. But why would you apologize if it wasn't your fault? Honestly, they're more about keeping up appearances and good manners. Think about it deeply. Why do you find yourself apologizing when you're not truly at fault? Saying sorry without cause doesn't just sound empty. It's a subtle signal that you're willing to give up your power and submit. Each needless apology chips away at the respect she has for you, turning your confidence into weakness. It's a dangerous habit that quietly erodes the foundation of attraction. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you apologized and actually felt it was necessary? Sometimes you might be tempted to avoid conflict by steering conversations away from uncomfortable topics. You tell yourself, let's keep things chill, no drama. But avoiding real discussions only delays the inevitable and signals weakness. A man who commands respect faces difficult topics with calm and unwavering strength. Instead of fleeing into distractions, he uses these moments to demonstrate his steadiness and emotional control. This isn't about being harsh. It's about showing that you're someone who can handle reality head-on, no matter how uncomfortable. But hear me, brother. You are not weak. Being strong really means owning up when you mess up. It's not just about backing down every time someone throws a fit. It's about standing your ground and staying true to yourself. That's where real strength shines. She sees right through fake apologies, and it kills her respect because it tells her 2 things. 1, you lack conviction. You're spineless and wishy-washy. And 2, you're trying to appease her ego by giving in. Don't misunderstand it. There's a time to accept blame, but also a time to stand firm. A woman totally respects a guy who can own up to his mistakes. But you know what really gets her? It's the man who stands tall and proud, never apologizing for being strong. Confidence is key. It's just so attractive. Imagine a boxer in the ring. Do you think he apologizes before throwing a punch? No, he acts out of strategy and skill, not fear of losing. True strength is not measured by how many fights you win or how often you avoid conflict. It's about stepping forward, taking responsibility, and dealing with what must be handled, regardless of the risks or consequences. Strength means being the anchor when storms rage around you, facing challenges with clear eyes and unwavering determination. It's about building something real with your partner, growing together through trials rather than running away from them. This kind of strength creates lasting respect and deep connection far beyond surface-level attraction. A real man owns his mistakes, but never submits for no reason. Remember, a true apology comes from the heart, not from fear of losing her respect. Number 2, always saying yes. Take a moment and ask yourself, why do you find it so easy to say yes to everything she wants? Is it really that difficult to say a firm no when something crosses your boundaries or goes against what you believe? Saying no isn't about creating conflict. It's about showing you have your own standards and values. A man who always agrees loses his edge because he's signaling that his desires and limits don't matter. To refuse means there's still fire in your belly. You're willing to risk upsetting her. But why would you do that? Because you're scared of losing her, brother. Listen closely. Each time you give in without resistance, a little piece of the respect she holds for you slips away. It's subtle but powerful. She notices when you don't stand your ground, when your yes isn't genuine but out of fear. That fear creates distance between you, a silent message that you're willing to sacrifice yourself just to avoid tension. But respect isn't built on surrender. It's forged in the fire of standing firm, even when it's uncomfortable. She sees your fear, and it creates a distance between you both. By always saying yes, you're showing her there's no room for debate, no space for discussion. You're essentially telling her, I will bend to your will, even if it goes against my own desires. This is not the mark of a leader, but a coward. True strength lies in being able to say no without guilt, enough without shame, and I love you, only when it's real. Can you feel the power in those words? They come from a place of inner strength, not weakness. You see, brothers, saying yes all the time is a form of escapism. Running away from conflict, huh? I get it. Setting boundaries can feel super uncomfortable. But let's be real. Life isn't a fairy tale where everyone just holds hands and sings Kumbaya, right? Sometimes you gotta face the music and stand up for yourself. Life isn't a scripted play where everyone follows the same lines perfectly. It's messy, unpredictable, and full of challenges that test your character. To navigate this chaos, you must learn to say no with grace and conviction. Saying no isn't rejection, it's honesty. It's telling her that you respect both her and yourself enough to be authentic, rather than just bending endlessly to keep the peace. That kind of honesty builds trust, and it's far more attractive than blind compliance. Don't misunderstand it. There's a time to be flexible, but also a time to stand firm. A real man knows when to say yes, but more importantly, when to say no without flinching. A woman respects a man who stands by his word, not one who bends with every passing wind. Number 3, seeking constant validation. Why do you constantly seek her approval before making even the smallest decision? You're not a child who needs permission. You're a grown man who should trust his own judgment. When you rely on her validation, you hand over your power and show uncertainty about who you really are. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being sure enough in yourself that you don't need others to confirm your worth. If you need constant reassurance from her, it means you're not sure of yourself. You're seeking validation to fill a void of insecurity within you. Now, let me make it clear. There's a difference between valuing your partner's opinion and needing their approval. The former is a sign of strength and mutual respect, while the latter is a cry for help. Constantly fishing for her approval is like silently asking, "Am I enough?" over and over again. It wears her down and creates emotional distance because it reveals an insecurity that she wasn't meant to fix. True masculinity comes from within. It's the quiet assurance that you are who you are, regardless of external praise. A woman respects a man who stands firm in his identity, not one who constantly wavers seeking approval. You know, it's a real turn-off when she sees a guy who just can't seem to find his footing, right? Like someone who struggles to find that inner strength to keep pushing ahead. It's honestly such a bummer to witness. A real man makes his own decisions, even if they're not popular. He sets his goals and hustles hard to reach them, no matter what anyone else thinks. Seriously, hear me out. Seeking validation is just a sneaky way to manipulate yourself and others. It's like, why let someone else's opinion dictate your journey? Just focus on your own path and keep grinding. You're trying to control her emotions by getting her to praise you. This is not attractive. In fact, it creates a huge barrier between you both. Why? Because it shows a lack of masculinity. Real men don't need external validation. Their self-worth comes from within. They know who they are and what they stand for, and they don't need anyone's approval to confirm it. A woman respects a man who is secure enough to be himself, not one who constantly seeks validation. Number 4, avoiding confrontation. Why do you choose silence when your voice is needed most? Are you so afraid of hurting her feelings that you'd rather bury the truth? Avoiding confrontation doesn't protect anyone. It only builds walls of misunderstanding and resentment. Real strength is having the courage to speak your truth with respect, even when it's uncomfortable. Silence may seem like the easy way out, but it's the coward's choice. Do you think a real man runs away from problems? Let me tell you something. Silence is golden, but only when it's intentional. Staying quiet when you have something to say is cowardice. You're totally dodging the truth, And honestly, that's not just messing with yourself, but it's messing with your relationship too. Seriously, having a real heart-to-heart is way better than getting all tangled up in lies. Trust me on this. It's just not worth it. Now, I'm not talking about starting fights or being confrontational for no reason. I'm talking about addressing issues head-on with maturity and respect. You see, brothers, we all get frustrated. We all have needs and desires. Ignoring them doesn't make them disappear. It only creates bigger problems down the line. Silence might temporarily stop the bleeding, but it never heals the underlying wound. Ignoring problems allows them to fester, growing deeper and more damaging with each passing day. You might think you're avoiding conflict, but you're really just postponing pain, and that pain will come back stronger. A real man faces the discomfort, addresses issues head-on, and builds trust through honest communication. A real man faces his problems, not literally, but emotionally and mentally. He speaks up when something bothers him and listens when she responds. This builds trust and mutual respect. It shows her you're not afraid of vulnerability, because you know it's the key to deeper intimacy. A woman really respects a man who can tackle tough conversations with grace. It's way more appealing than someone who just runs away from problems, hoping they'll disappear. Remember, true strength comes from embracing challenges, not avoiding them. Number 5, neglecting your goals. Why do you push your dreams aside for her comfort? Deep down, you know there are goals burning inside you, ambitions waiting to be realized. Yet, when the moment comes, you choose to sacrifice your purpose for temporary peace. This choice tells a story that you value comfort over growth, safety over greatness. But here's the truth. A woman respects a man who relentlessly pursues his vision, no matter the obstacles. Let me ask you a question. Who do you owe your life to? Your mother, maybe your father. They brought you into this world and loved you unconditionally. But who are you truly indebted to? Your soul. You owe your life to your goals, your passions, your purpose. Those are the things that gave you meaning, that made you unique. And yet you set them aside for her. Why? Because you fear losing her, because you'd rather be safe than pursue greatness. But listen to me. A woman can totally respect your choice to focus on your goals instead of her. Honestly, it just makes you even more attractive. It's like, wow. You see, brothers, having ambition is admirable. It shows drive, passion, and a purpose beyond mere pleasure. It means you're not just looking to fill your life with mindless fun, but are actively trying to make a difference. A woman respects a man with a plan, not one who's aimlessly floating through life. By neglecting your goals for her, you send a message. Giving up on your dreams just for a bit of comfort? That's honestly not a great vibe. It kind of shows that you might be feeling a little lost, and maybe your priorities aren't where they should be. Life's too short for that. A real man has a clear vision, and no matter what comes his way, even if it's from the woman he loves, he will never let that vision fade. Ambition isn't selfish. It's essential. It fuels your growth, shapes your identity, and commands respect. If you abandon your dreams, you abandon the very thing that makes you magnetic and powerful. Don't misunderstand it. There's a time to work and a time to rest, but a real man always keeps his eye on the prize. A woman respects a man with a plan, not one who's aimlessly floating through life. Look around you. Most men have lost the art of being a man. They've traded their power for empty promises of love and affection. But you don't have to be one of them. Embrace your masculinity, own your actions, and never, ever apologize for being strong. The women who truly matter will respect you for it. If you've made it this far, I know you're serious about improving. Here's your reward. Now go out there and be the best version of yourself. And remember, brothers, the best is yet to come. Subscribe to our channel, Inner Empire, for more videos on masculine wisdom, the Stoic mindset, and relationship mastery. See you tomorrow.